The other day I was organizing my Littlest Pet Shop accessories and I remembered, oh wait, I have a bunch of perler beads. Maybe I should do some perler bead projects. And so I got the idea, why don't I go to candypatterns.com, which is one of my favorite websites for finding patterns for perler beads and candy, and look up Littlest Pet Shop. And wouldn't you know, someone created a Littlest Pet Shop pixel art Husky, which I think is based on those Tamagotchi style Littlest Pet Shop toys. Anyway, I downloaded it and I thought, maybe if it's all in black, it's a little boring looking. So what I did next was I made it freaking rainbow because that's awesome. Hell yeah. So I moved the image onto my iPad so that I could actually see it in front of me. Got all my perler beads out and began crafting. I've been doing perler bead art for several years. I hadn't in a while because I had moved on to other non-perler projects like drawing or video work or photography. What introduced me to perler bead art was through the candy community because I like making candy bracelets and crafts and things like that. I found all of my perler beads several years ago at a thrift store in a huge bucket and they were all mixed together. I thought, oh, it'd be easy enough to just unmix them and get them sorted into their own bins. And I did that. And let me tell you, I do not recommend doing that. I do not recommend having 20,000 of these beads to sort because that was freaking ridiculous. If you have the means, I really recommend getting separate colors because it'll make your life so much easier. You won't have to go through the process of sorting all those beads. Oh, just thinking about it stresses me out because it takes such a long time. I did get those beads for pretty cheap, probably much cheaper than retail. But man, all those hours I had to spend, I think it must have taken me like 4 hours at least. God. But you know, it was worth it because I made a ton of perler bead art after that. Like the floodgates just opened. Perler bead art is just phenomenal for pixel art, especially Pokemon sprites and stuff. I've made Nyan Cat and Pikachu and a few other projects, so I really enjoy making perler bead art. It's fun, it's easy, it's meditative even. And here I am making a Husky because I love that I can incorporate my other interests into my art through perler beads. Next step is to heat it all and actually go through the fusing process. I need to take a iron and bring it to the highest heat setting it can go. Depending on the size of the project, it can probably take several minutes to really fuse the beads together and get them to all melt together. It's a bit of a learning process how to do it right. You need some parchment paper to lay over. It's really important, especially to melt down the edges so that those beads don't fall off from the rest of them. Using a combination of pressing down with my iron, so a little bit of pressure and heat, I'm able to melt the beads together to create one solid piece. If I feel the need to, I can take the perler bead pattern off and flip it over to get more of a pixelated look, which I do think works really well for this particular pattern considering that it's based on pixel art, but I like it the way that it is originally. Once I have my completed project, I take several pieces of masking tape and tape it to the back of the artwork. And then it's gonna go on my wall. I'm gonna put it right here next to this Littlest Pet Shop tag thing that I have and some other wall decorations that I've got. And so that was my Husky Littlest Pet Shop perler bead art. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.